a person who's a wonderful human being, not a human being, but possibly a monster, a creature, a vampire. Yes, humanist vampire seeking, consenting, suicidal person. That is the title of this new movie. I'm giving this movie 0 stars just for that title. I can't put it on our podcast descriptions. I might just put humanist vampire. It's a big to do. It is a headache of a moniker. I don't know. Is this movie worth it? Let's see. It centers on this young vampire named Sasha, played by Sara Montpetit, and she's fantastic in this. She is very sensitive. She does not want to kill people. She needs to kill people to drain their blood and to eat. She is a creature. She is not a human being. Her family has been trying to tell her, you got to go out, you got to kill people, you have to actually bury the corpses because we're not going to do all of this stuff for you because she's spent her entire life drinking from blood bags. Okay. And one day she befriends a lonely guy named Paul, played by Félix Antoine-Bénard. And he is a teenager who has suicidal tendencies. Paul and Sasha, they strike up a fast friendship, fast connection, and he is fine with her killing him and feeding off of him. The catch is she tells Paul, before I kill you, we're going to fulfill your dying wish. And then Paul and her go on a mission to fulfill his dying wish or wishes. In humanist vampire seeking, consenting, suicidal person. Let's start with Eric Holmes first. Your overall thoughts on this movie?
Well, first of all, I love the title because the title was like, you read that, humanist vampire seeking, consenting, suicidal person. One, that's exactly what the movie is. Two, I'm like, wow, let's see about this. So definitely, and if you want to shorten it up, HVSCSP, that's fine. You can say that pretty easy. But this I got like really strong kind of Content de Pew vibes with like a little Taika Waititi thrown in there. It had some humor to it, kind of whimsical, but not like annoyingly so. And yeah, I just kind of dug this overall. It was not exactly because even knowing kind of what the story is based on the title, I wasn't quite sure of what the tone was going to be. And then, of course, once the movie started, you quickly get what the tone is and kind of maintains that throughout. I really love the relationship between Sasha and Paul. And I guess the thing that was kind of weird about it was sort of what it says about depression. It's not good, it's not bad, but it is I guess messy and gray, which sort of works, I guess, because that's kind of, what depression is. It can get messy. Like on one hand, it's like, if someone's depressed and they want to kill themselves, you don't want them to, but at the same time, if you feel that way, you want to. So like on one hand, you don't want them to kill themselves. On the other hand, you want them to end their suffering. So it's got that kind of gray area as far as the morality of that goes. And I appreciate that. And yeah, this was just a good movie all around, I think.
It's directed by Ariane Luis Says. I'm probably butchering her name. Bruce, your overall reaction and thoughts on this movie?
Yeah, I quite love this movie. Also, you did kind of bury the lead, and I won't describe it very much other than to say that literally the lead of this movie is a birthday party that the young version of Sasha has, where they have a clown performer at it. And I just want to say that scene is amazing. There's a great little punchline, including a light bright that happens a little bit after that too, which made me laugh out loud. If you didn't notice it, it was quite hilarious. Yeah, I think what this movie is a great example of what a good script with an indie movie that actually goes somewhere. Like I was worried when I saw it, this was going to be one of those door closing movies that Eric hates, indie door closing movie, like just sort of dour, super, super subtle, super like artsy, quiet movie. And it's much more vibrant than that. If anything, what I really appreciated about this is it almost, to me, and I think Eric's comparisons were pretty good, but I would also say this is like the movie that I don't think Tim Burton can make this movie because he can't make a movie with like so much production design and so much flashy stuff going on that he can't actually make this movie. But I think he wants to make this movie. I think this is the movie Tim Burton in his heart would love to make because it's ultimately kind of this very bittersweet goth sort of love story, maybe. Kind of.
Maybe, yeah, sort of.
I love the characters. I love the fact that there is so much of a larger world created around it. These kind of movies where they're a small movie, but it makes you want to know more about the world. Like even the little bit of the world you live in, I loved the characters that I saw and how much I saw of them that I wanted to see more of them. So there, for example, her aunt, you get a little hint of what her aunt's all about. You love it. Someone kind of joins her aunt's life. I won't say how that happens. That character was great. I don't want to see a ton of terrible sequels to this movie, but it's the kind of movie that creates a rich enough world in the 90 whatever minutes this is.
90 minutes, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, that it invites that. And I think that's a great sign, once again, of well-written characters where they just trim all the fat away. They give you a basic story you can understand, characters you care about, and you follow it through. And it surprised me. I didn't know where it was going exactly. And even to the very end, I was like, how is this movie going to end? I know one way it could really end easily, but is it going to end that way? I'm not sure, So I love this movie quite a bit.
Yeah, the ending was surprisingly resonant for me. I don't know about you guys, but it knocked me out in a good sense. So I enjoyed the ending. My fear for this while I was watching it was it would be too hip for its own good. And it wasn't. It straddled that line and it did it really well. Bruce mentioned subtlety. It straddled that line too, because it didn't become too much indie hipster-ish thing where it meandered. It was very focused. And I feel that there are very few, if any, flaws with Humanist Vampire, other than the title. I know I disagree with you, Eric. I'm thinking more of just fitting the title into this podcast.
HVSCSP is cool.
HVSC, okay. Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. Here's a caveat, though. It's New York and LA this Friday, nationwide release on June 28th via Drafthouse Films. If you want to get on board early, because I'm predicting this, I don't know how Bruce and Eric feel, but this movie will be remade into an American film in 2 to 3 years from now. You will see the American version on Prime Video, Netflix, or any other streaming service. Do you guys feel the same way? Because I think this is ripe for the remake. I
mean, maybe it'll be Tim Burton. He'll do a bad version
God,
of this.
I could see that happening. No, I think this is going to be a beloved cult film for sure. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I could see, teenagers for years loving these characters.
Yes, and Sara Montpetit, I have not seen any of her other stuff. I'm flagging her on IMDb. I will watch whatever she's in. She is a star in the making if she's not already a star. All right, let's get to ratings. Eric Holmes, your rating on Humanist Vampire.
I don't know.
Okay, think about it.
I kind of want to go 4.5, but also I want to go 5 because I'm trying to think of what a better version of this is. I can't seem to think of what it would be.
Okay, so 4.5.
I'm gonna stick with 4.5, but this could go up on a rewatch. I think
4.5 to grow. Bruce Berkey.
In fact, it might even go up by the end of this podcast. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, clue us in on that. That'd be very cool. Bruce, what about you?
I'm 5, easy on this. I want to own it. I want to watch it again. I feel like this is one of those movies I can watch even pieces of it over and over again and just enjoy it. So yeah, easy.
Okay, without giving too much away, I mentioned the third act, and I will mention third acts later in a review that I'm going to be doing in about 10-15 minutes. The final moments of this movie really nailed it for me, and it took it up another notch where this is easy rewatchability. It was a perfect ending, and it really, I think Eric was talking about the themes of depression and loneliness, suicide, and all that stuff. I'm not saying everything got wrapped up in a nice little bow, but it's a very cleverly written, well done movie from the heart. Easy 5 stars for me as well. For Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. Again, New York, LA on June 21st and June 28th nationwide via Drafthouse Films.
This is CinemAddicts.